everyone, I'm Tash, part of We Offer Wellness, and today I'm with Jade to talk about her wellness experiences on the platform. So you're a therapeutic breathworker and emotional empowerment mentor.
Yes.
So do you want to talk to me a bit about the emotional empowerment aspects? I know you've got a programme on our platform.
Yes.
So what does that involve?
Okay, so the programme, I really wanted to create something where if someone is experiencing anxiety, even though it extends to self-esteem issues, depression, people-pleasing, boundaries, because things really do come down to our emotional state and resilience and how comfortable we are with experiencing our emotions and our past traumas. So I wanted to put a programme together that incorporated all the different elements, really, of mind, body, soul, because we are multi-dimensional people, and it does take going at something from different angles to get really good results. And so by doing that with the program, we do subconscious reprogramming. So it's a form of hypnotherapy where it's not trance, and that's the amazing thing with a hypnotherapy that's not trance, is you get to be here talking to your own subconscious, and you're very aware of the process, and that's what really makes the changes. And we do a breathwork in that program. We do a session on the body, so sometimes it's even looking at gut health and nutrition, movement, somatic work, which is all about getting in the body, feeling safe in the body. And we do a session called the spirit session, so that's when we go into it depends where that person is with what they believe, but really it's the foundations of mindfulness, meditation, what energy is, how we can work with that. I even offer human design at that point as well.
Oh, cool.
So it kind of
varies, but it depends on the actual person and what they need. Yeah,
well, we do all those structures. Those 6 sessions. It's 3 mind, 1 body, 1 spirit, 1 breath work.
Okay, cool.
And that way I've just seen really amazing results, because even with my own healing, it wasn't just the one thing. And so that's when I knew, when I wanted to start helping people that are suffering with anxiety, that I had to find an approach that incorporated looking at that mindset, looking at regulating their nervous system, looked at their beliefs, incorporating energy. Energy is a big thing with my work.
Yeah, so it sounds like it goes really deep, which is amazing, because you need to hit it at all the aspects.
And with 6 sessions as well, that's the incredible thing.
Yeah,
like with
to be able
results
to go
I've
that
had,
deep.
it incorporates all that. Obviously, and the support in between as well is really important. I think that really helps us when someone is keeping you accountable from session 1 for that long period of time as well.
Yeah, 100%. With the hypnotherapy aspect that you mentioned.
Yes, non-trance hypnotherapy.
So it's non-trance. So what does that look like? So normally you'd think someone closes their eyes, I guess.
Yeah.
And they do feel trancey, I guess. And they wake up and they don't really know what happened.
Yeah.
So yours is different.
It is.
Right.
It's basically using IMRs, which is IMRs.
Right.
It's idiomotor responses, I think it's called.
Okay.
But basically using your fingers. So it's the same concept as, have you ever done where you move your body forward, yes or no? People use that a lot.
No, I've never seen that.
Okay, so it's the same with your fingers. So we build up to that process of getting you comfortable with understanding your subconscious and your conscious mind and the difference. We'll do some kind of magic tricks to see how responsive you are to your imagination, and to bring you into that subconscious dominant state. Because some people can be really blocked off to it, but I've actually had no problems with people at all responding to it. And at that point, then we talk to your subconscious, and we kind of say, that part of your subconscious that we want to be communicating and making those changes, come forward now, give me a yes signal, and we'll get one of your fingers to move, give me a no.
Okay.
And that way we can have a direct conversation with your subconscious.
Okay.
And then, so if they say no to something, for example, when we're saying, well, we want to make this change, we no longer want to be turning this alarm bell off, and they say no, that's when we can look into it and be like, well, why? What's still there that we can change that makes you feel like that's an appropriate response still?
So that's something they're holding on to, basically, subconsciously.
Yeah, it is. And also during this session, during this progress, you're understanding that your subconscious, your body is all working in your favour for you. It's just outdated responses that formed when we were younger. So that really helps to even put you at ease and your mindset at ease that, I remember when I was going through my journey, it felt like my mind was against me, like wanted to kill me.
Yeah.
But actually it's not not the case. It's working for you. It's just outdated responses.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then we can figure out what that is, you know. And a lot of time it's fear of like, well, if I change, I'm not going to be safe because this has got me to where I am now.
A lot of it probably is around safety, right? Maybe judgment, safety, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
to keep us grounded.
You know, we develop these when we're younger, to even get through, especially if you've had a traumatic childhood in some way, which we all have in some way. It's just something we develop to keep us safe. So even people pleasing, we develop that because if we keep people happy, we keep our parents happy, then we know we're going to be protected and okay. But actually, when we're adults, we no longer need to do any of that because we get to decide the people that we're around, understand that the people that we choose to have in our life, they're going to be with us no matter what, if they truly care about us and not because of what we're giving to them and how we're just trying to please them and keep them happy.
Yeah. That's really powerful and would definitely help someone in the long run, and every aspect of their life it must ripple out. You spoke a little bit about when you had anxiety. So do you want to talk to me about why you became, not an anxiety coach, but into the breathwork, into that aspect?
Yeah, and I did start as an anxiety coach.
Yeah.
And it's always hard to find the words. I suppose you understand in the work that you do as well, trying to put it into like a title is so hard because there's so many things that we do, and that's what makes us all unique with how we can help people. But it was my own journey with anxiety, but it was anxiety to the point where I couldn't function. And looking back, I can see, because anxiety is a normal emotion that we all have anyway, but it's when it's a detriment to our well-being and our happiness. And I think when I was younger, I wasn't so aware of how that was affecting me, and I was very good at numbing myself out of how I was feeling in my body, what was going on in my mind. I was always in a daydream. You know, I'd have times I look back now when my body would go into such an overdrive and into a panic, and I had no idea why. So I would just lay down and just hope it would pass. And I didn't put the two and two together. That's my nervous system and all those things that I know now.
That's interesting about the daydreaming, because I obviously know you for a long time, and I remember you used to daydream loads.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was, you're really creative and imaginative, but you could tie it potentially to
escapism, really.
Yeah. Okay.
Because when we're existing in our own daydreams and not being present, like at all, I was never present. Then it is a way for us to escape our reality. But then that's the problem. When we're escaping, when we're distracted, when we're numbed out, we're also not getting the full capacity of how beautiful life is. You know, and that's such a beautiful moment when people start to reconnect to themselves and like, oh, I actually feel like these overwhelming feelings of gratitude and love, and I see the world with more colour and all those wonderful things. So obviously your body, your mind it'll get louder and louder. And that's the beautiful thing about when we go through a really bad point in our life, like the lowest points, it's only saying now is the time to change. And it kind of forces your hand to do that. And that's what happened to me, where it was just the alarm bell. I was totally in that sympathetic nervous system. And I think before then, understanding the nervous system now, I was in what I call the red zone, which is the dorsal vagal part of our nervous system. It's in that shutdown.
Right.
So you can go into that shutdown, especially as a child. I must have developed that to not feel anything. But we actually need to feel that activation, to feel emotion, to be able to heal, to go to that rest and digest in the green zone. And so that alarm bell was constantly on, and I couldn't work, I couldn't function, I couldn't eat. And obviously your mindset will follow what you're experiencing in your body, because you're then in that fear constantly. So I decided, okay, well, I actually need to change this. And I had the option of taking medication. But luckily I really am so grateful for the fact that I've always had like this inner guidance, like when I've chosen to listen to it, that has given me that confidence to try something different, try this, try that. Which I thought everyone had. But clearly it's something that I realised that's why I can help others now, because I have that motivation and willpower to be like, I'm going to try this, see how that works, kind of take stock of what is good, rather than trying the one thing or getting stuck down one lane. And so I tried many things, and then I started training in things, but it all started from my own healing, really. Even when we do things like Reiki, sometimes it's just for us, you know, for our passions. We're following our passions and our interests. And then eventually I was like, okay, I can turn this into helping others. So that's what I did, and I kept training for years, and it's still always an ongoing thing of incorporating different things. But really, I think it's finding your own unique way of helping people, because it's sometimes more than just the practice that you're doing with someone. It's like it's your energy. It's the specific codes that you have that someone can so even with what you're offering with We Offer Wellness, it's like someone could be offering the same thing, but it's that particular person that you'll be drawn to for a reason.
Yeah, and how they word things. It might click one way. Yeah. It's totally different.
Yeah, and I do incorporate that in my work as well, like tuning into the client as well.
Okay,
like channeling what's actually going on within them, because that was a really vital part of my healing when I chose a couple of mentors, is because they could see things that I couldn't. So rather than say a therapist and they're probably responding on what you're saying, someone that can see beyond that.
You're right, and connect
which
with
makes
you
you feel so much more seen, and you know, you feel like if I'm stuck and I can't find the words but someone can see beyond that, that to me is so healing. So I really try and incorporate that with my clients as well.
Yeah, like
which they definitely feel.
And you mentioned Reiki as well, which you also incorporate.
Yeah, very limited, not the traditional Reiki. It's more like in a breathwork session.
Yeah.
From a distance, even if I'm sitting over there, or online if it's in Zoom. So I do sessions here as well.
Yep.
I'll be bringing in like those higher frequencies. I'll be picking up on specifically in your body where something might be stuck. So it's just kind of slightly incorporated into it. But I just felt really resistant to offering Reiki as a separate thing, because I find it's the person's laying there receiving the healing, but they're not necessarily making change that they can take forward in their life. So it's kind of, and I've had people report this to me that come with my breath work. They say like energy healing, it makes you feel better, but it's not making like those long-term changes where you're fully being encouraged to let your emotions out. You're diving into why there's something going on in your subconscious. Someone's speaking to you, and that's what I do in breath work as well. It's like depending on what we're working on, I'm speaking things to you, and you're in that subconscious dominant state that your mind's really going to hold on to. So it's kind of like affirmations in a way as well.
That you're specific to them.
Yeah, so I just find it's so much more impactful than offering just Reiki. So that's why I don't offer that just on its own.
No, that's cool. And with the breathwork, because I predominantly assume you work with people with anxiety. Is that correct to say?
No.
What's the most
and actually
common characteristics?
The most type of session I do is therapeutic breathwork, more than the program.
Okay.
But if someone comes to me with anxiety, for anything.
Yep.
Tend to be like my trend of clients at the moment tend to be. It's interesting. I don't know why. It tends to happen. You get like the same kind of thing that someone's struggling with. But business owners. I work with quite a few business owners at the moment that are struggling with like boundary setting, you know, in that burnout, overworked. And also people that have this kind of like inkling that there's something more. That's what I tend to see with the people that I attract. They're like, oh, I'm kind of interested in what spirituality is, and there's like a excitement
and an openness
to it. So it does vary. I am actually working with a few people at the moment that have come to me for breath work that they're suffering with anxiety, so we're seeing how that goes without necessarily doing the full program, but I think I'm very flexible and I can add things on
and intuitive to what they need. With breathwork and anxiety, I'm assuming you obviously again tailor it. You don't go full in with it. Because I know we've kind of mentioned before, I don't know, like you take the breath slightly different, not so panicky maybe, that kind of thing.
Yeah, so I trained in rebirthing, conscious connected breathing, which really is following that natural state of the way we came into the world breathing. So how a child breathes. So it's fully into the belly first, and then fully into lungs and into the chest. And so you're not trying to make it robotic in any way. And I always say to clients, because a lot of people come to me and they've tried holotropic or Wim Hof, and it puts them more into fear. And I always say it's just where you are at the time. If you're in that sympathetic part of your nervous system, in that fight or flight, it's not going to assist you at that point. It's really good to do. So when someone comes for breathwork and they're on the like 8th session or something, we start incorporating holotropic because you can flood your body with even more energy and, you know, have a really high, amazing experience. But most people, when they come to me, what they're needing is safety, and they're needing to know that they can relax their own body and soothe their own body and feel safe to let their emotions come out and express them, because it's just insane the world we live in where people don't feel like it's okay to express their emotions. I know we talk about it all the time, but they genuinely don't feel safe to, and sometimes it takes a few sessions. And you can see people swallowing down and not wanting to let it go, to get to the point where they're like, okay, no, it's okay to even if it's anger, even if it's frustration, even if it's sadness, just to let that go and let that energy move through you. I think that was the question you asked. Type of breathwork.
Yeah. No, that is great.
But holotropic is still good, but it just depends on where you're at, and that's why it's never black and white. And always use your intuition to what you need. So if you have tried holotropic and it's not working, we'll try maybe conscious connected breathwork that I offer, and then go on to that. There's still all
and like you said, you merge them. It's all very a tailored approach from what I can understand, and hitting it from all different angles in a holistic manner. So that's really great. Is there anything else that you would want to add about the services that you provide, or if someone's completely new to all of it? Like, I don't know, how would you even explain, say, your coaching aspect, your program? How would you
well, I always do a consultation as well. So that's always just a good way to meet the person that you're working with, ask those questions. But sometimes it's like trusting that if that you have that intuition to go and try that, you don't need to know exactly what that looks like anyway. It's just kind of trusting that I'm going to give this a go and be open to it. And you're interested in it for a reason. Because a lot of people, they do put up barriers to themselves. Like, I've had a few people lately that go, oh, I'll come to a session once I've sorted myself out a bit more. And I'm like, no, like, this is now the time to come to a session when you need it the most. It's not waiting till anything. It's like, we all need support. We all do. And so just trust. So when you go on to We Offer Wellness and you're scrolling through, there'll be part of you that has an inkling to go to that person. Precisely. And consultation's always good to ask those questions, but really it's kind of hard to put into words everything that I do, because like I said, it's so tailored to the person anyway, and what they need. So but I offer a program. I offer therapeutic breathwork sessions on their own. So if you want to dive deeper into something emotionally, whether it's anxiety, depression, self-esteem, boundaries, then the 6-session program is a good way to go from all different angles. But if you, even if you just want to come and de-stress and reset, then having a therapeutic breathwork session is perfect. But there's just so many things that it can help with. So I think it should be part of breathwork, or something similar should be a part of your normal routine, whether it's like a monthly thing. And I do have people come every month just to kind of reset,
realign themselves. Doesn't have to be this big thing that you're doing like every single week and dedicate loads of time. It can be here and there, like a routine-y thing to keep yourself grounded, in check. And I do send resources as well. That's something that I really love doing, is creating meditations, creating videos of different breathwork. And I have a Feel Calm practice that I offer for free as well. If anyone wants a little introduction on my work too, that's a good one that I can send to anyone, so they can just sense my energy and what that is like to kind of listen to me while you're in that really perfect. Maybe we'll grab that from you as well. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Jade, for your time. And if you're interested in Jade's offerings, then just visit the website, and if you type in Jade, it will come up with all of her offerings. And I think it's really cool, We Offer Wellness, because I always think if I want a gift from someone, like, I would always want a session over something materialistic. You, me and Tom, when we talk about what do you want for birthday, Christmas, there's nothing actually that I want. If I want something materialistic, I'll tend to buy it. But to give someone an experience, especially in wellness, and you can get a gift card as well. As well, if you just like, I know they like wellness related stuff, but I don't know what one. So because that's always gonna, it's never gonna go to waste. It's always gonna be an amazing thing that you can have. So thank you very much. Okay.